They say the water near the old dam has a memory. Decades ago, this entire valley, filled with homes, farms, and a whole community, was deliberately flooded to create the reservoir we see today. Everything was left behind, submerged under tons of water, a forgotten world resting at the bottom of the lake. Most of the time, it's just a quiet, peaceful body of water. But legends persist. The locals, especially the old-timers, they talk about the stormiest nights, the ones where the wind howls and the rain comes down in sheets. They call it the Midnight Island, a ghost of the past that breaks the surface, just for a little while. I've always been drawn to stories like this, the kind that blur the line between folklore and reality. So tonight, under the darkest, most menacing sky I've seen all year, I'm here. I'm standing on the cliffs overlooking the reservoir, the wind whipping at my jacket, the waves crashing violently against the rocks below. The air is thick with anticipation. My watch is ticking closer and closer to midnight. The clock hits 11:59. The world holds its breath. And then it happens. Just as the old stories described, the dense, swirling mist that has clung to the water all evening begins to part, pulling back like a theater curtain. Rising from the center of the lake, a massive ancient manor, perched impossibly on a jagged peak of black rock. It shouldn't be possible. The geological surveys of this lake are clear. There's no peak this high. Yet my eyes don't lie. It's real. This isn't just a story. I have to see it up close. I have to document this. My small boat feels incredibly fragile as I row out into the oppressive fog. The calm, glassy surface I'm used to is now a churning, chaotic mess. Each splash of the oars echoes into the eerie silence between gusts of wind. The closer I get to the island, the colder the air becomes, a biting, unnatural chill that seeps right through my layers of clothing. My breath hangs in the air in frosty clouds. Finally, the bow of my boat grinds against the shore. I step out, and the sand beneath my feet is unnaturally cold, almost like walking on frozen ground. The house towers over me, a dark silhouette against the stormy sky. Its windows are like empty, vacant eyes, staring out into the darkness, and I feel a profound sense of being watched. There's no turning back now. With my heart pounding in my chest, I push open the heavy oak doors and step inside the grand foyer. The air inside is still and smells of damp earth, old wood, and something else, something like old perfume and decay. The floorboards moan and groan under my weight, each step a protest against my intrusion. I make my way down a long, dark hallway, my flashlight beam cutting through the oppressive blackness, revealing peeling wallpaper and portraits whose faces are obscured by shadow. I find the library first. It's a scene of beautiful chaos. Books are floating gently in the air, suspended as if gravity has no meaning in this place. They drift like silent, paper birds, their pages fluttering softly, even though there's no breeze. It's both terrifying and mesmerizing. I reach out to touch one, and my fingers pass right through it, like it's nothing but a projection, a memory made solid. From the library, I move into what must have been the dining room. A long, magnificent table is set for a grand feast. Ornate silver platters, crystal goblets, and fine china are all perfectly arranged. But the food, what's left of it, is covered in a thick layer of slimy lake moss and waterweeds. It looks as though the party was interrupted mid-meal, and the lake simply reclaimed it all. A ghostly banquet, forever waiting for guests who will never arrive. As I stand there, taking in the strange scene, I hear it. The soft, melancholic sound of a piano playing a sad, haunting song. The melody drifts from the next room, a tune full of sorrow and longing. I follow the sound, my footsteps hesitating. I push open the door to the music room. The grand piano sits in the center, its polished wood gleaming in my light. But the music stops the instant I enter. The bench is empty. The keys are still. driven by a mix of fear and an insatiable curiosity. I know I have to see the rest of the house. I head back to the foyer and begin to climb the grand staircase. The wooden steps creak under my every move, the sound echoing through the cavernous space. The walls on either side are lined with portraits, dozens of them, capturing the stern, unsmiling faces of the family who once lived here. As I ascend, I get the distinct and horrifying feeling that their eyes are following me. I stop, shine my light on one of them, a man with a severe expression, and I swear I see his eyes shift to look directly at me. I quickly look away and hurry up the stairs, my skin crawling. At the top of the landing, a long hall stretches out before me. At the very end, a single door stands slightly ajar, a sliver of pale ethereal light spilling out from the crack. I walk toward it, my boots silent on the thick rubber carpet. The air grows colder still. I push the door open gently. The room inside is a bedroom, sparsely furnished but elegant. And standing by the large bay window, looking out at the raging storm, is a quiet figure in a long white dress. Her back is to me. She seems to be waiting, her posture full of a deep, unending sadness. It's as if she's been waiting right here, in this exact spot, for decades, for someone who will never return. I take a hesitant step into the room, and she turns toward me. Her face is a blur of soft, indistinct light, with no discernible features, just a radiant, sorrowful glow. Just as I open my mouth to speak, the entire house begins to shake violently. A deep, rumbling sound echoes from below, the sound of immense pressure and rushing water. The island is beginning its descent back into the depths. Panic takes over. I spin around and run for the door, but the hallway, the one I just walked down, is stretching. It's getting longer and longer with every frantic step I take. The door at the other end seems to be moving away from me, an impossible, nightmarish illusion. Behind me, I can hear a soft, sibilant whisper echoing in my ears, cutting through the roar of the crumbling manor. "Stay," she says. The voice is gentle, pleading, but it chills me to the bone. Water is now rushing in from under the doors, swirling around my ankles, cold and dark. It rises to my knees with alarming speed. Outside, the last sliver of moonlight disappears behind thick black clouds, plunging everything into absolute darkness. The island is going home, back to its watery grave. And this time, it seems I'm part of the legend,